be given up as an evil, say some learned men. Others declare that acts of sacrifice, gift, and penance are not to be given up. Remember that God is speaking about the many differences between sannyas, renunciation, and tyag, relinquishment, as answers to Arjun's question. The first definition of sannyas, renunciation, was the giving up of all works prompted by desire, and the first definition of tyag, relinquishment, was abandoning the fruits of all works. In this third verse, God says that the word eke, meaning some, and also the word manishina, learned men. God uses different words every time. For sannyas, renunciation, he used the word kavaya, and a kavi means a wise person. When we hear the word kavi, then we think that it means poet, and a person who makes two lines rhyme, and who writes literature. This is not a kavi. The scriptures define kavi as koti bhaktebhya upatashadi iti kavi, one who gives devotees a discourse on the path of God is a kavi. This is a person who has supremely great feelings born in his heart because he walks on the path of bhakti devotion and who holds the devotee's hand to take the devotee closer to God. For tyag, relinquishment, God uses the word vichakshana, the learned, and we saw the definition of this earlier. Now God uses the word manishana, learned men. The manishana, learned men, say that action should be given up as evil. Just like if we have faults inside us such as kam, lust, growth, anger, lobh, greed, more, delusion, mud, pride, and matsa, envy, and we try to remove them, they say that in the same way we should give up action. They consider actions also to be faults and consider actions to be evil. They say that this is giving up of actions is tyag, relinquishment. Who says this? It is manishina, learned men. Manishina, learned men are those who think and contemplate. To think is the activity of contemplating. This is a person who contemplates and thinks about the truths and experiences in life. Such people say that action should be given up as evil. This is because how does all of this happen? The arguments of these people is that one should give up the fruits of actions, but where do fruits come from? They come from actions. Therefore you should give up actions. Therefore Manishina, learned men, say to give up such actions. Then the word apara is used meaning others. Otherwise people declare that acts in the form of yajna, dan, donations, and thought penances are not to be given up, and that they should leave all other actions and then it will be good. They say that one should never leave acts of yajna, acts of dan, donation, and acts of thought penances. This is because all of these are actions. Yajna are actions, dan, donations are actions, and thought penances are actions. Over here there's a mutual opposition. One group of manishina, learned men, are such that they say that all work should be given up as evil, whereas others who are manishina, learned men, because this is thinking, contemplate, say that it is fine if you give up all other actions, but you should not give up yajna, dan, donations, and thought penances. It is natural that when this was said, then the question arose in Arjun's mind that God, you have created a confusion again. You're talking about some people saying this and some people saying that, Lord. I do not much have an interest in what others say. I have an interest only in what you say. God, I have no interest in the talks that these learned people have. Lord, tell me what I have to do. And God, I have considered you as my guru. I have said in the 7th verse of the 2nd chapter that Karma palepradopadashat swabhava pachami tvam dharma samuddajetasa yatshesyan nichtam bruhu tanme shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapadanam. My very being is stricken by the weakness of sentimental pity. With my mind bewildered about my duty, I ask you, tell me for certain which is better. Lord, I am your pupil. Teach me who am seeking refuge in you. Lord, I have accepted you as my guru. Therefore, I do not want to go into talking about what others say. You tell me what I should do. This has two meanings. The first is what God says, and the second is that what God says for me. This is because a Sadguru's message is different from each people. A Sadguru is not a medical textbook. A Sadguru writes a prescription. He tells the people what to do and how to do it according to what is right for the people. Therefore, when Arjun heard this 3rd verse, the question must have arose from his face that, Lord, what should I do? God understood from the expression on Arjun's face. Look how God begins the next verse. Nishchaya